Are you feeling down this holiday season? Do you need something to pick you up? Do you love horror? Do you love comedy? Do you love musicals? Well, we have something for you, so stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Jessica.
And welcome to another edition. Obviously, you can see we have the Santa hats on, so it is Christmas time.
Yes, it is.
Just a little bit before Christmas. If you're not watching this at Christmas time, it's about a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's a week today that'll be New Year's Eve.
And New Year's Eve.
Oh, I'm sorry, not New Year's Eve. Oh my gosh, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Jumping ahead.
Yes. She's trying to skip a holiday. Trying to skip a holiday. So we got a great movie review for you this evening. It's a, like I said on the top of the show, it's a horror, it's a comedy, it's a musical, it's a zombie horror film, and it's just that really niche down kind of thing. That there is quite a few films in this genre, actually, surprisingly, and even I'm actually writing one.
You are?
Yeah, that I'm currently. I'm working on, but I'm not. I'm working on, but I haven't been working on in a while. But it is something that I hope to finish down the road.
Something new I get to hear about.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, without further ado, what film are we reviewing today?
So we are reviewing Anna and the Apocalypse. Woohoo! Which is actually perfect because it is right around the Christmas season in this movie. So.
Yeah, that's why we're reviewing a Christmas horror comedy musical.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Don't forget the musical part of it. Yes, Anna and the Apocalypse. This is a British film that came out in 2017, and like I said, this does encompass horror, comedy, musical, zombie horror, all that kind of stuff. So a little. You wouldn't think this would work.
No, right? But it does, because I will be the first to admit I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. There's very few musicals I like out there.
That are film.
Right. Yes, correct. But this one, surprisingly, didn't annoy me. The songs were catchy. They went with the whole theme of the film.
You're just unloading it all right now, right?
Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry.
She's super excited to talk about this. So let's talk about what it's about, and then we'll get into all the stuff that you loved about it. And
I feel like I always kind of jumped the gun on it.
Yeah, she's just really super excited to always talk about everything right up the. I love it, and that's it. Goodbye. No. So this is a zombie apocalypse threatens a sleepy town called Little Haven.
Of mass infection with the as yet unidentified virus continue to come in from across the world.
At Christmas time, which makes it a Christmas movie, forcing Anna and her friends to fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing the undead in a desperate race to reach their loved ones. But they soon discover that no one is safe in this new world with civilization falling apart around them, and the only people they can truly rely on
are themselves.
Yeah. So that's the plot of it. Speaking of the plot, it's a very simple plot, and we'll talk about that in our good and bad section of our podcast. But the plot is these group of kids that have to make it from point A to point B, the safe haven, which is the high school that they attend. So it's a very simple plot. So you wouldn't think that you would, if I just explained it that way, you'd probably be like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, because that just sounds boring. I'm going from point A to point B.
Point B, yeah. It's like what I do for work every day. Point A to point B. Very, very, very boring to do, but not this. All right, so yeah, this falls around Anna, obviously, because this is the main character. And these group of kids in high school, this is their senior year. She has her best friend, John, that she's very close with. It's hard to tell with their boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend in the beginning, but
yeah, you kind of guesstimating there's that little connection there.
Yeah, but spoiler alert that they're just friends at this point. And it starts out with an argument with her father in the car, and about what she's going to do after high school, right?
Which I think is...
It's very typical, right? Whether you're going to continue on to college or you just want to
take a year off.
You want to travel
around the world.
Yeah, that's a very typical kind of complaint, I think.
Yeah.
And argument.
Yeah.
But that comes back later in the film. So that's something to pay attention in the beginning about that as well. And then we have, like you said, John, her friend. And then there's Steph. She's the foreign exchange student.
From America.
From America. She's that little feisty little blonde-headed girl, which she's a fun little character.
She is.
She adds that little
zinger zest.
That zinger zest to it, absolutely. And then there's Nick. He's the bully bad guy, kind of in the
no filter.
Yeah, no filter.
No filter on him. He just says whatever comes to his
he comes off very hateful, which is a tribute to him. He's done he did very well in this one, obviously, if I really hate him in the film. Right. So
you can't help but not hate him. And then
and then towards the end he gives you more backstory on him, that his father was murdered or killed. And he was in the military, so you start to feel for him, and he does start to change a little bit there towards the end. You also feel like that little love triangle, right, between John, Anna and Nick a little bit.
Yeah.
So you have that
a love triangle.
Yeah, but it's funny because this film doesn't really focus on those parts. It's more about the friendship of these characters. It's not really like that love triangle like a lot of teenage stuff really goes into. They really hit the love triangle and all this stuff, but it's more, it's surface level on that. It's more the friendships that they really
really bond
on that. Yeah. So this was directed by John McPhail, written by Alan McDonald, Tommy Riley, and Ryan McHenry. And this stars Ella Hunt, Malcolm Cumming, and Sarah Swire. Those are a few of the main characters in that. We
actually said everybody's name right today, too.
I said everybody's name right. I know, right? I practiced this time. The problem is when I just look at it and like, okay, and then don't say their name out loud. So
yeah, it's better if you say them, because apparently I just start renaming everybody.
Yeah, if you ever watched other podcasts, we've just completely made them a new person or a famous person, but just not in the right context.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. This film was inspired by West Side Story, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which makes sense. And The Breakfast Club, which is one of my favorites, is the Breakfast Club, because it has that kind of...
It does have that feeling.
Yeah, the characters... There's distinct characters throughout, and that's the thing with the Breakfast Clubs. There's distinct characters and different viewpoints, and that definitely stands out. Rocky Horror Picture Show being a singing thing, which we should review that, because that's one of my favorites, is the Rocky Horror Picture.
I have not seen that movie in years.
Yeah, me neither. I love that film. He also included Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, The Evil Dead, and...
The new one, Evil Dead.
And the newer one, Evil Dead.
Okay.
And Sleepaway Camp, that was the costume design. Sleepaway Camp was an 80s horror slasher flick.
That one.
If you're a really big horror fan, then you've probably watched that one. And then I left Shaun of the Dead for the last one, because this is really like Shaun of the Dead.
Okay,
and
I can see it.
It's like High School Musical and Shaun of the Dead combined.
Okay, I can see that.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Because Shaun of the Dead is like, it's more about the how people going through life, and they're like zombies. Everybody's like a zombie because they just go through. They just slug through life the whole way through. And this one's more like a what do I want to say, like a satire of that. It's not the same as Shaun of the Dead, but it's very similar, because a lot of the scenes they're either singing or walking through life, and there's destruction going on in the background, just like Shaun of the Dead. So it has that similarity as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then there's music in there.
Yeah.
This was filmed in Scotland.
Was it really?
Yeah, in Port Glasgow, right outside of Glasgow, in February.
Oh.
So they said it was like freezing cold.
Interesting. Okay. I would never have guessed it was filmed in Scotland. I totally would have thought London or somewhere in there.
No. It was filmed in Port Glasgow, Scotland, in February for 28 days.
That's gold.
They filmed it very fast. You know, this is an indie kind of film, so it has to be very fast to get it done because you don't have a lot of money.
No.
With an indie film. I kind of reference it also like La La Land a little bit. About La La Land's music, singing and dancing with Shaun of the Dead.
I didn't get very far watching La La Land.
Oh yeah, La La Land's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
It's not so much me. Love the actors, but I couldn't get into the film. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry.
Obviously, it is a musical, and this is one of the things that I really, really liked about it because, like we said at the top of the show, is we're not big musical film people. But the songs are written well, sung well, performed well, danced. The choreography is good. And they're just catchy. They make you want to get up and dance and sing.
Yeah, I think at some points I was singing to the songs. I was learning the words quickly and like singing and bouncing along to them. And
because I was looking up stuff the other day on this and I was like, I was reliving one of the songs back in my head. And I was like, that never happens. Even on songs that I love from just musical artists that I have. So they were super catchy.
Yeah, they were written really well.
Makes you fun, and it makes you want to get to that point where you're like, okay, when's the next song coming up?
Yeah, I agree.
So that was one of the cool things. Some Edgar Wright editing. If you're an Edgar Wright fan and Shaun of the Dead fan, you know how he edits, quick cuts and stuff like that. So some of that in there as well. Some of that flair in there as well.
Yeah, I'm loving it. All right, what else do we have that's really good about this film? Tell me some more. Or you may tell you some more.
Yeah, you tell me. What do you think? Now it is your turn to tell me what you got.
Finally, I'm so happy I get to talk.
I'm just going to let a little sippy poo here.
Okay, have fun with your drink. I forgot mine. I stuck it across the room and I can't get up.
That's okay.
So, next time I'll make sure I have it close by. But anyway, some other great stuff about this film, like we already kind of mentioned, everybody in the cast had like a great singing voice. And they really did a really good job of the choreography, the singing. I think one of my actually favorite moments or favorite characters in this movie was the theater teacher. Wasn't he? He was a theater teacher?
He was the high school
or a drama teacher principal. Oh, he was the principal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally went over my head on that one. Okay, but he totally, to me, was hilarious. From the beginning to the end.
In the scenes, he stole the scenes.
Oh my God, he stole the scenes.
He was the mustache twirling, Dick Dastardly kind of cartoon character.
Yeah, but big bushy beard.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't have that. But he reminded me, if he was standing there, he'd be twirling his mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of character.
Yeah. But that was some of the good things about this movie that I really liked is everybody had such good roles. The singing was great. Choreography was great.
And I
it
think
was a good storyline too, even though it's been done before and over again. But I actually enjoyed watching the film.
But what they did is they built, because one of the negatives, kind of what I was complaining when we were watching it actually is it gets quite a 30 some minutes in before it starts getting going.
And that was
so it was a slow beginning. But what the trade-off for the slow beginning was that they were building the characters, the backgrounds, the relationships,
the story.
So as a storyteller, I kind of thought I sat on that for a while because I was like, all right, so you always want to get in to the story really quickly because you're going to lose people quickly, and maybe it was just the songs that brought people in to hold them in, but that's a good and a bad to me because you had to build those characters to make you care for those characters, to carry you through a simple plot story of just an A to B. So I think that's what the trade-off was with the directors and the writers is like, okay, we have to build a story. We have to talk about these characters for a while and get you emotionally involved in them before we start all the action. And I think, so that's a good and a bad. So, but you just have to wait until it starts going and it gets going. And like I said, it is a simple plot, it's also, if you're a huge zombie fan, it's not like an over-the-top zombie film.
No.
It is a typical zombie film. If you're one, I know a lot of horror fans, if you're looking for the kills, they're not crazy kills. There is blood and guts here and there, but it's not over the top. It's not over the top. Just keep that in mind when you watch this film. It doesn't have that crazy kills. It doesn't have the crazy blood and all that stuff. And it's a typical zombie film, but what it has is the emotional connection, the heart, and the catchy songs that are just amazing to listen to. And that's one of the things. And the Dick Dastardly cartoon character, mustache twirling bad guy, which he plays it like he plays it so well. Good. And he also sings in there too, and does songs with.
He's not the best singer, but it works.
No, and it was funny because they have the song between the dad and him, which was cut from the original and added back in more recently.
Interesting.
So it's added back into the, like, I don't know if it's a director's cut or just an extended cut kind of thing, but it's been added back in, which is really.
I like that it was added back in though, because it still works. It makes the film.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, I think we did cover some of the bads. It's basically just the slow beginning. Yeah, I really don't have a lot of bad to say about this because it was just so entertaining to watch, and definitely a movie you can watch again because it's definitely a second watch.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a second watch because I feel like there was a couple moments that I missed in the film. And I feel like that's sometimes for a lot of people is you get so invested in one piece of it that you miss the other piece. So it's always good to go back. But I would definitely recommend watching it.
Because I think this is my second or third watch because I know like a lot of people, and for me, I have my Christmas movies that I like to watch every year. I have on my list of Christmas movies. Not all of them are horror, but I do have my horror Christmas movies that I have on my list. And this is one of them. Is Anna and the Apocalypse is one of my Christmas horror movies.
So this is one we're going to be adding to the list then.
It has been added to the list because I think this is the second or third time that I've watched it. There are others that we'll review down the line that I like that are Christmas horror movies as well.
They're straight up horror movies. I don't think there's much comedy in those, right?
No. There's no comedy, no music. There's a straight up horror movies with more blood and kills, but
like Krampus.
Krampus. I like Krampus. Not everybody likes that one, but I like it.
That's interesting.
So overall, just go watch it.
Yes.
This is not a crazy horror film. So for all those people that are not, super horror fans that hate blood and guts, like you, it's almost that gateway horror in there. It's a fun. Perfect. It's got that perfect balance as well. And I just wanted to add in anything else you want to add in for that? No. Okay.
No, good.
All right. So there was one last thing that I want to talk about, being a writer, and I think this kind of fits with this because you kind of know what this movie is right off the bat. They get right into. They don't get right into the action, but they get right into the singing and the character building of it. And that just brings me to the point of the tone of a story. And the tone when you're writing a script and when you're doing a film, that tone has to be set pretty quick. And that's what keeps the reader going is the tone of the story. And the tone of the story is kind of what your perspective of it is. And it helps keep that reader going, like I said. And then it kind of helps know what the genre of the film is if you're setting that tone right off the bat. Page 1 or 2, to get right in and get that tone. You can use sounds, in the script of what's going on, descriptions. Obviously, you're keeping your actions lines, not to get too deep in the woods with a lot of action lines, but just describing those scenes and getting that tone right off the bat so the reader knows. It keeps them engaged as well. And be bold. Take chances and take a big swing. Don't be safe and be different. And I think that's what another thing with this film is. This film is different because it's a horror, a comedy, a musical. They took a big chance. They took a big swing, and they weren't safe. And they went for something that really hadn't been done kind of thing, and it worked for them.
It did.
So, yeah, just a couple writing tips. Yes,
I like them.
Yeah,
It's good advice.
You like that advice?
Yeah, I like that advice.
All right, so I think that's our review of Anne and the Apocalypse, our Christmas special. For everybody out there, have a good holiday season, and we might do it. I might think about maybe doing another one coming up.
Yeah,
before the end of the season, before the end of the year, or if not, we'll see you beginning in 2025. We'll have our full year of the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. Woo-hoo! Yay! And make sure you go check us out on the horrorcomedyhangout.com. You can get all the information there. If not, go to our YouTube channel, the Horror Comedy Hangout YouTube channel to watch, or any podcast platform. You can see us as well. Please like and subscribe. That helps us out. And subscribe. Please subscribe. All that really helps out.
Would be a great Christmas gift.
It'd be a yes. Give us a Christmas gift if you don't mind. And subscribing and watching and commenting. Please comment, because I look at those every day and I'm ready to talk about it. Yeah. So till next time, have a happy holiday and a new year, everybody. A great new year, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.